If your dream isn't on the calendar, don't be surprised when it stays on the shelf.
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work, an award-winning podcast where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
Hey, everybody. So, if your dream isn't on the calendar, don't be surprised if it stays on the shelf. And so you might hear that, and you're like, well, Maurice, I don't have the time to do it. And that's the challenge today. Because a lot of times we're so caught up, we're so busy, we're so, and being busy, we want to look like we're moving. We want to look like that we are accomplishing things. We want to look like that we are movers and shakers. But in that, are we putting together the right type of time for us to reach our true, deep down in our heart, dream? And so I will put it to you like this. I have a friend who is part of a fraternity, but he would like to be a life coach. And so he retired from his corporate America position, but he really wants to be a life coach. We talk about it, let's say once a month or so. It's not very often, but we talk every time he speaks to me, we talk about it. And so when we were speaking about it, I asked him, how much time has he placed a part, in that? And he says, well, Reese, so those of you who know me as Maurice, everyone calls me Reese. Those that are closest to me calls me Reese. So you have the opportunity to call me Reese now, especially if you are consistent in listening to this show. So he'll say, Reese, I have not had time because the fraternity, the organization, is taking up so much of my time that I cannot reach my desired goal, my desired dream. And Maurice, I don't know how much time I have left on this earth. And that's a fact. This is purely our conversation. And I'm utilizing that as the formula or the base of this particular show because he's talking about trying to fit it into his otherwise perceived busy schedule. Now, I would talk to him about how much time in a week do you spend with the fraternity? How much time in a week do you spend, with the family? How much time in a week do you spend, driving around, walking around, whatever it is? So you have time from some of these other things, but you don't have time to fit in your dream. So for those of you that are out there that are having a similar situation, I would like to say to you, instead of trying to fit it in, try to fit in that time, why don't you assign your dream a time slot like you do with any other of your priorities, quote unquote. Assign it a time slot. So if you only have 2 hours in a day that you really have free, utilize those 2 hours to work on your dream. Those 2 hours may not have been the same 2 hours you would have used last week. But I'm pretty sure you could find those 2 hours somewhere throughout your day. I'm pretty sure you could find 6 hours a week. That's less than 1 hour a day, to really say, hey, for these 50 minutes per day, I am going to take the time, sit down, devise a plan for me to work on my dream. And then after I'm finished writing out the plan, I am going to work the plan and then launch the plan, review the plan again, rewrite it if it's necessary, launch it again, and keep doing the same process. And I hope that each and every one of you are understanding that within this loop, you're building your dream, you're building your process, you're understanding that, hey, if I'm testing, I can see what works, what doesn't work. Whatever the situation is, I'm talking to this person, I'm talking to that person, I'm educating myself, I'm doing the research. I have put in the time and the effort. So I don't want you to just fit it in. I need you to select a time. Well, Maurice, I get up at 6 o'clock every morning already, and I have to get the kids to school. I got to get to work. And so we leave out at 7:30 because it's not that easy of getting kids up and out. And trust me, I know. I hear the struggle. I've been there. And not only had I been there, I had to get up, drop the kids off in a whole 25 minutes in one direction. And then in order for me to get to work, because my job at that particular time was an hour and 15 minutes from where I lived. So I had to go and let's say I had to go east to drop the kids off at the babysitter's house, come back past my house to go west to my job. And so that 20 minutes, 25 minutes to go drop them off at the babysitter, another 20 minutes basically back to my house, I already knew it was an hour and 15 minutes. And so in order for me to get there on time, unfortunately, at that particular time, I was pushing, a lot of us be pushing that time, right? And so we're pushing the clock and we're rushing and we feel as though we don't have the time to do anything. Well, in that hour time, what I started to learn was there were ways for me to learn my craft, study during that drive. So right now we have the better type of technology that's more readily available. So we can listen to podcasts like this. We can listen to audiobooks. We can listen to other forms of education for us to put together this plan. And here's the thing. You can also use that same hour of time. Maurice, I really need to write it down. Well, here's the thing. Why don't you turn on the voice memo on your phone and record your voice if you need to write it out, if you need something to take down notes. So there are ways that you can multitask in certain situations. So here's the reason why all of this matters, right? Because consistency builds progress. And so when it's scheduled on your calendar, that means it's no longer optional. It's actually a part of your grand plan. Again, if it's on the calendar, it's no longer optional. So if you're utilizing that hour, especially since you're already doing it anyway, keep it going. Keep it moving. And then those times when you schedule that quick 10 or 15 minutes Whether it's first thing in the morning, late at night, when you need to get to your voice memos, or, because you did this during your lunch break or whatever it is, because I'm trying to, i.e., fit it in, right? But you can utilize that time to build yourself, to build character, to build consistency, which also ultimately builds your progress. So let's not keep your dream on a shelf. Let's make it a part of the plan, so that way your success is no longer optional. Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening. Follow Maurice Chisholm on social media to stay connected, and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work. Or will it?